Hey there, it's Brandan from Be Loves Love with another Car Chronicles at another soccer practice. It's a little later recording this time. You didn't catch me in the full sun. There's a lot of traffic. I got to practice late. Well, I got to practice late where I thought practice was, and then come to find out I was at the wrong place. So we had to turn around and get to his actual practice location. So I had a fussy 13-year-old in my car because he was going to be late to practice. Anywho, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're reading some good books. I have actually finished the astronaut book that I was telling you about. And these books are obvious. They're romance because they have a happily ever after. So I knew the end was going to be great. The actual drama was very well done. You can kind of see it coming. There was a lot of insecurities on both sides. Valid. For once, I'm like, okay, I could totally see how this could be a hindrance to future relationships and how this could come up again as a problem. So, very legitimate, very well discussed, and I was pleased with how it was written and how it was described. So, all in all, it was a good book. Low spice, there was a scene, but it didn't go into explicit detail. But it was one scene, maybe around 80%, and then that was it. And then the rest was more about the relationship and the discussions and apologies and what have you. Good book. So now I was like, okay, so what am I going to read now? I think I'd mentioned how I was going to read Beverly Jenkins' book next, the one that I had already purchased, not the one that I want to purchase. So I thought about it, but I was like, no, I think I want something light. Beverly Jenkins is not known. There is some wit, there is some humor in her books, but usually it's like an underlining tension and drama, because her books that I enjoy the most are historical, in a time where Black people were not always treated well. So, the angst and the kind of the feeling that goes along with that. So I'm like, I don't think I want that. I want something a little bit more fun. And so I'm reading this book about a woman, and if I remember, I'll put the name of the book in the caption. It's a book about a woman who, and this is book 2. She was murdered. And I know it's hard to say, how is this funny? But she was murdered in her first life. Ended up in, I don't want to say it's heaven. I think it's kind of like the in-between space between know if you're going to heaven and hell. And, or is she in hell? I can't remember. So she's dead. And she was a lawyer. And an angel or something needs her to help him get out of a situation that he believes he's being framed for. And she's like, no, I was a lawyer in my real life. I would like to chill in the afterlife, please. And he makes it so as her version of hell is to relive how she died. So the case, the client, the actual shooting, the feeling of being shot, she has to relive it. And it's on a constant loop. And so she was like, okay, this is not going to work. I don't want to spend forever like this. So she agrees to his demands. This is the first book. And everything works out. Then we get to the second book. The second book, I'm not going to say it ends on a cliffhanger, because it doesn't end on a cliffhanger for them, but it is I think it's written to be like book 1 and book 2. And so book 2 obviously picks up at the end of book 1. And it's very witty. It's very well written. The banter is fun. I think I'm in chapter 2. And I'm just smiling as I'm reading the book because it's fun. The main character, I don't think I mentioned this, the main character is a Black woman. And she's got the big hair, it's the curls, it's all of that. And it's just a well-written character. The banter, like I said, is fun. And I'm just enjoying reading. Have you ever had a book where you just can't stop smiling? Like, it's like, oh, this is so much fun. Like, this is what reading should be like. You know, before you go back to your mafia books where everyone is like dark and dangerous, it's nice to have a light book about a woman who's died and now she's somehow a lawyer in the afterlife. So I'm enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to finishing that book. And I don't know then what my next one will be. I'm just going to scroll through. I think when I looked back, remember I was doing the exercise of downloading the books that I had ordered but hadn't downloaded. And again, this is something that I do. I buy the book. I don't download them until I'm ready to read them. So I was going through the exercise of like, okay, in case Kindle decides to get rid of these books, let me download them so at least they're on my device. I think I have 2,000 books that I have purchased and haven't read. 2,000. If it's not 2,000, it is somewhere between 1,250 and 2,000. Either way, I should never buy another book because I have more than enough books to read to hold me for years. And it is ridiculous because all I think about is buying more books because that is what we do. So, anywho, I hope that you are doing well. I hope that your reading is going well. I hope that you found a book that is making you, if this is the vibe that you're going for, is making you feel happy and giddy, or is making you feel however you want it to feel when reading the book. If it's not giving you that feel, put the book down. Either don't finish it, and I know some of us that is very hard to do, or just pick up another book. I have, and again, a ridiculous number of books where I have started it and been like, nope, I don't want this. This is not the vibe I'm going for right now. I can't do it. Sometimes I pick them back up, sometimes I don't. But anyway, you get to choose. Choose to read a book and spend your extra time reading something that you actually enjoy. All right? All right, so take care of you. I'll talk to you next time.